What's going on? Welcome back to the Raw Shooters Club. Today we're going to be talking about some Christmas gift ideas for the filmmaker in your life. I'm going to show you how you can get that gift for that filmmaker in your life without having to break the bank or see an astronomical credit card bill at the end of the month. So in order to not break the bank, we're going to talk about things that kind of get left on the sidelines, things that aren't spoken about unless they're absolutely needed at that present moment. And believe me, I've had those moments where I'm like, oh my God, I need this. I don't have it. What am I going to do? No stores are open, etc., etc. And also, I don't know if you can see it, but guys, please don't mind the mess. I'm in the middle of getting my gear loaded and ready for a short film that the team and I are shooting on Monday, which is going to air on the 22nd of December. It is a Christmas film and it's going to be a funny one. So subscribe, hit that notification bell, because when that film comes out next week, you're going to want to watch it. Gift idea number one, SD cards. These guys, you can never get enough of. And I know some filmmakers and some photographers that still literally operate on maybe one or two cards. I don't know how you do it, because I can blast through a card in a day with my filmmaking, probably even half a day. So SD cards, honestly, they range between like $30 and $80 depending on the type of card. You can obviously go more expensive, but you can get one between $30 and $80, and these guys you can never have enough of. If you're shooting on Sony like I am, the new update allows you to put in 128 gig cards, and there's 2 slots. So that's a lot of space. It's a lot of space either for photos, or that's a lot of space for videos. Now, obviously these cards are not going to cut it if you're using cinema cameras like Blackmagic, Red, the FX6, FX9, and so on and so forth, because they need cards that take up a lot more juice, and the files in general, because, you know, with Blackmagic you get to shoot with RAW, Red you shoot RAW, RE RAW, and the cards, yeah, they don't last very long, so you need a lot of them. And what I'm holding in my hand right now is a SanDisk card. It's a 64 gig. This one in particular writes at 300 megabytes per second. But if you get a card that writes at 90 megabytes per second or 100 megabytes per second, that is more than enough, you know, to get the capture rate that you need while writing the files to the card. Gift number 2 kind of goes hand in hand with gift number 1. A carrying case for your SD cards. This bad boy, honestly, I don't remember how much it ran me, but I believe it was about 30-40 bucks, and you can get it on Amazon, and it holds all your SD cards. There's 12 slots for your SD cards. So honestly, if you have 12 SD cards, you're pretty much never running out of space. The one thing I like about it too is that each slot for this one specifically has micro SD card slots as well. And there's 2 in each one behind it. If you have gear that holds micro SD cards like field recorders or Insta360s, GoPros, anything like that, that's where you can carry your SD cards to, and you don't necessarily have to have it in the camera. But if you are someone who is forgetful, please make sure that only your backup SD cards are in here and your main SD cards stay within the camera, because you never want to put everything in here, leave for a shoot, and then next thing you know, you have no cards to write with. That would suck. But this goes with me everywhere, because you never know when you're going to need that additional space and whenever you're going to need to swap out to a new SD card. So gift idea number 3 is probably the most important one on the list, and without it, you can't get the job done. Batteries. So this battery in particular is for the Sony cameras. It is specifically for the Sony a7 III. Obviously, every other type of battery is going to look different, whether you're using Canon, Nikon, Fuji. If you're going into cinema cameras like Blackmagic, Red, RE, all these batteries are going to be different, and they're obviously going to have a different price point. But if you are just run and gun videoing and you're using a full frame mirrorless camera like a Sony or a Canon, these batteries will run you about 100 to 120 bucks, And there's been so many times where I've actually killed the battery and I did not have a spare. It was probably the worst time of my life, and I knew I was never gonna make that mistake again. So maybe having, 2 to 4 batteries on hand just to have additional, that's probably the best way you can go. I remember when I first picked up the Sony a7 III, that battery, honestly, I felt like I could not kill it if my life depended on it. This thing would last for days, weeks, it was such an amazing battery. But the more and more you use it, you notice that batteries deplete their charge, and they're not always going to charge at 100% the way they did when you first got them. So that's where the second battery and the third battery come into place, because you're always going to be swapping out, and you're probably not even going to be using 2 batteries on the same day. It's a very, very rare occasion. But myself as a filmmaker, I go through batteries the same way I go through SD cards. Why? Because I want to make sure that when I get back into the editing room, I am filling up cards, I am just eating all the juice in batteries, because the more I shoot and the more I have to work with in post, the easier my life is. If you have a filmmaker or a photographer in your life that is still operating off of his or her first battery, do them a favor, get them a second one, get them a third one. They're gonna need it. So gift number 4, I didn't realize I needed until I actually needed it. So as I was growing my skills as a filmmaker, I realized that I needed this more and more and more. How I record our YouTube videos is, of course, I'm using a shotgun mic that is planted on my camera right now that's recording my audio. That is something that you do not want to bring on a film set. So gift number 4, if you are a new filmmaker, I highly recommend picking up a Zoom H1N recorder. Now, you've heard me talk about this thing in previous videos. I use it a lot for the short films that we create. Sometimes all I have is maybe a few lavaliers on hand where I have to, mic up my actors. 99% of the time, I'm not even renting a boom mic when we're on set filming, because this guy here captures pretty much everything I need. Whether I need to capture room tone or if I need to capture the Foley in the film, this guy does a job. And it retails for $150 Canadian, and it goes everywhere with me. So if you have a new filmmaker in your life or in your family, this is probably the best thing that they're gonna need and they're gonna want in their filmmaking journey. This is definitely gonna be your run and gun. It has definitely been my run and gun, and it has been a lifesaver every time I'm on set. It takes a micro SD card, and you need 2 AAA batteries. So, always make sure that you have a pack of batteries on hand, because you don't want this thing to ever die on you. But, the charge and the battery lasts a pretty long time. You can probably do a few jobs with this before the batteries die. So that is fantastic. H1N by Zoom. Best recorder on the market for the price that it is. Okay guys, so my last gift idea would probably be the MC Series from Aputure. I own 2 of these guys. They retail for about 150 bucks, and they would make an amazing stocking stuffer. These things not only are RGB, but they are magnetic, so you can literally stick them on any metal surface, whether it's a ceiling, a bookshelf, a desk, wherever. They're super bright. I wouldn't say they're bright enough to the point that you can light up a scene with them, but they are bright enough to add accent and ambience to your shot and scene. Along with these guys, in and around the same price range, are the Aputure B7Cs. Now, I don't have one in my possession at the moment because they are currently in my lighting fixtures. Yes, you heard that correctly. They are cinema light bulbs that Aputure made to pretty much give you practical lighting in your set. Now, depending on the shutter speed that you're shooting with, we all know that in-home lighting fixtures give you that really ugly flicker, and that is something that you don't want in a film. You don't want the flicker of the light bulb. The B7C series eliminates the flicker for you, and they're also RGB. And the cool thing about the B7C is that you can run it off of AC or DC power, which means you can either run it off of the battery of the light bulb, or you can run it straight through the electricity in your home through the fixture. I think that's pretty awesome. Both lights have a estimated 8-hour window of battery life, so that gives you quite a bit of, of wiggle room to get the shot in the scene that you need. If you are running the B7C off of the battery within the fixture, then it gives you about 2 to 3 hours. But if you are running it from the electricity within your home, then you don't have to worry about it unless you have a power outage. All right, guys, so if you're a last minute shopper and you have yet to get the perfect gift for the filmmaker in your life, I hope these ideas will give you a helping hand. And with that being said, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.